Okay, so thank you, Emer. So I just Emer that we have a quorum, and that the committee's been held. Yeah, the committee's been held. Well, it's fully virtual at this stage. So just in terms of clarity, I can see Thomas, Sinead, and Rosemary on the screen. Are any other members in yet, Emer?
Jerry's just joining us now.
Okay, and have we received any apologies, Emer?
We have, yes. I have apologies from Joanne Bunting and William Humphrey, and they have delegated their vote to Tom. And I have
Okay,
from Nicola, and she has delegated her vote to you.
okay, no bother. Okay, so listen, thank you everyone for your attendance. I just want to wish us all a happy new year since it's the first opportunity that I've had. So in terms of the draft minutes, the minutes of the 15th of December 2021 meeting are at page 5 of our meeting pack. Are members content to agree the minutes of that meeting?
Yeah.
Agreed? There are no matters arising, but I will propose that we move into closed session in order to consider the legal advice on the official opposition and indeed the suggested proposed changes to standing orders. Then we stay in closed session. I also propose to stay in closed session to discuss the draft report of the committee's initial views on our inquiry into the private members' business. It is just standard practice, as most of you will be aware from other committees, that when you're doing both those items, that it's standard practice when the closed session, and as soon as they're concluded, I'll move us back into open session. So can I have agreement to move into closed session to discuss those two items of business, please? Agreed. Okay. Emer, I'm just going to give you an opportunity to make sure that we go into closed session. So I'll just pause it there for a wee minute.
Thank you. I'll confirm shortly. That's us live again now, Chair.
Is that us, Emer? Okay,
Yes,
so thank you. Thanks, Emer. So at page 121 of our packs, there's a letter from the Speaker on the LCM in relation to the Subsidy Control Bill on page 126, and a letter from the Executive Office on LCMs on page 127. Emer's memo details the work that the committee has undertaken to date on our inquiry, and since our last meeting, 2 items of correspondence have been received and can be found in the appendices. The first is a letter from the Speaker on the subject of the LCM correspondence, which he recently received from the Minister of the Economy on the subject of the Subsidy Control Bill, which had its first reading in the Westminster House of Commons on the 30th of June last year. We also received a response from the Executive that notes the information provided in a raised paper and the committee's intention to look at the existing timescales afforded to statutory committees for consideration of an LCM matter. So do we have any views on these 2 items of correspondence? First of all, just to note the correspondence.
Yep.
And our members, are you content to consider a draft report for our next committee meeting on this as well?
Agreed.
Okay. So in relation to the Northern Ireland Ministers' Elections and Petitions of Concern Bill 2021-2022, the update is that Emer's provided us with our packs, and also included in those packs we have received a summary of issues in relation to the NI-MEP OC bill on pages 135. The bill has passed the British House of Lords, and that's on page 142. The House of Lords amendment to be moved on report, which is again on page 156, and the running list of all the amendments are on pages 161. So we last received an update at our meeting on the 1st of December, which we agreed for the issues paper we previously discussed to be circulated to party leaders and whips on a without prejudice basis and for possible discussion at the next meeting of the Party Leaders Forum. So now that the NI MEPOC bill has completed the committee stage and was reported from the Grand Committee without amendment, and that the Grand Committee undertook a line-by-line examination of the bill during this stage on the 13th of December last year, and again amendments discussed covering clauses 1 to 6 of the bill. The next stage is the report stage, and this is all update, which provides an opportunity for further line-by-line examination of the bill, and that's scheduled for today. So really, that's just by way of update. Is there anything that members want to ask on any of the issues that they may be aware of? We may want to bring this agenda item back to the next committee, given that the next passage of this bill is happening as we speak, probably. So can we just get agreement to do that instead? Is that fair enough?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of our forward work programme, Emer has provided in our packs of pages 167. And the forward work programme is from January to March this year. There's loads of stuff there that we need to consider and decisions we need to make before the end of the mandate. Just to remind you, there's only 4 meetings, scheduled meetings that we've got until the end of the mandate if we agree to continue to meet fortnightly. There is a capacity to schedule additional meetings between each Wednesday, and this would mean, it would meet in hybrid next week. Now, we've all got full programmes of work on each of our committees, and we've all got APGs and all the rest of it. So I'm just asking you, what's your view on moving to a weekly meeting, first of all? I mean, would it be fair to say as needed? If we get through a lot of work there today. If we can take this approach at each committee meeting, we'll get through this like a hot knife through butter, to be frank. Because we've discussed all this, we've looked at the reports, it's now down to how the possible amending the standing orders or not happens, rather than having a discussion on why it should happen. So do members want to consider this and come back to the next meeting? Or Emer, if you feel that there's a need to meet in between, could we agree in principle that if the meetings are definitely needed on a weekly basis, then we'll look at that, but we need to be very ruthless about our own agenda, the way in which we conduct our business, make sure we're not stymieing discussion, that people have a fair opportunity to come back. And if I feel that's appropriate, then what I'm asking us to do is, will we move to a weekly meeting or will we stay as it is? I mean, that's basically it. So over to yourselves, members. Okay, I'm not taking... Sorry?
Yeah, Chair, I just know people are, I know certainly I'm on Justice Committee and I know it's the same of all committee now. They're legislatively heavy and we're trying to do, informal committee meetings as well as additional meetings. And it really is going to be difficult to squeeze in or commit. But I would suggest if we can continue as normal, and, even if they're lengthier meetings and we have earliest possible sight of papers, that would be really helpful. The sooner we get the papers, and then I'd be more content down to sit for a more lengthy meeting if needed. But I respect it's different for other members. So that's my tuppence. Thank you.
No, Sinead, I think, to be fair, you've reflected probably what every member of this committee. I mean, I'm sitting on health, which is meeting twice a week. We're doing informal meetings as well. It's just, to be frank, it's crazy. Biscuits at the minute. So can we agree to, which Emer will do as soon as she gets the paper, it will be sent on to us. If there's items that we need to discuss in between, it will be done by correspondence. If there's a need for a meeting, if something urgent comes in, we'll deal with that, but that we should meet and try and get through it as we currently are without making any changes. So I haven't heard anything different. Emer, are you content?
Yes, content, thank you.
Okay. There's one item of correspondence on pages 170 of the pack, and it's in relation to correspondence from the Business Committee regarding the temporary provisions and standing orders. So we can tend to note at this stage and consider options for the continuation of the temporary provision at our next committee meeting. Is that fair enough? Because we'll through a lot today.
Yep.
Okay, there's no chairperson's business. I just want to take this opportunity, and I've nothing under any other business. Just want to ask is, do you have any other issues that you want to raise under AOB? No? Okay. On behalf of the committee, Emer, I want to thank you and all the people who attended the committee today, of Paul, Frank, John and Jonathan. I hopefully haven't left anyone out. I'll see you on Wednesday, the 2nd of February at 2:30. Okay, listen guys, thanks very much. Okay, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.